What's up, YouTube? We're going to go ahead and break down a Thunderbird number 3 styled starship. And we're going to build this from the bottom up, present you with the easy to follow snap-to build guide so that you could create one of these bad boys for yourself or just get some inspiration for your own builds. So I'm going to break this down and then I'll be right back with you for the build. All right, before you can get started with this build, you're going to grab 2 specialty parts. You're going to need from Deimos Star Yard a 100 DP Slim Docker. And we are going to be using the Deimos Landing Bay. You could grab one while you're there. I don't think it's a specialty part though. And then we're going to be using a Slayton Aerospace 6830 engine available from New Homestead. You're just going to need one of these. If you haven't unlocked the 6830, then just grab yourself a 5830 and it'll be just fine. All the other parts are available from your landing pad with Shipbuilder at your outpost, so that's where you're going to put this together. After you grab your 2 specialty parts, make your way over to your landing pad with Shipbuilder at your outpost, and you're going to start by placing down a 100 LD landing bay with the entrance facing the fore of your ship. And then behind that, you're going to connect an Acculander 11 landing gear. Make sure you flip it so that it has connection points on both sides. And then to the rear of that, place a Teo cowling and flip it to the aft bottom position. And then go ahead and place your shield on top of the cowling. And in this case, I'm using the SG 1800 shield. Next, bring in any 2x1 hab. I'm going to use a Nova Galactic Armory 2x1. You can put any single 2x1 that you want right here from any manufacturer, doesn't matter. After you put that down, go ahead and duplicate and flip your tail cowling and then snap it in place right here as red. Flip it twice and cancel to get it to lock into place. Then bring in a Teo companionway 1x1 bottom A and attach it right here. The bottom A has no connecting points on the side and it's got the curved edges. All right, so bring in one of those and then bring in a Shroud companionway and place that next to the Teo companionway, and then you're going to attach your Slim Docker to the bottom of the Shroud companionway 1x1. Next, bring in your cockpit. We're going to be using a Viking CP. I'm only using the 100 variant because I don't really care about cargo. And then attach that to your Shroud 1x1. Next, you're going to bring in another Teo companionway 1x1 bottom A and place it above the Shroud companionway. And then bring in a Teo 2x1 bottom A variant and attach that above the cockpit to the other 1x1 Teo companionway. Next, bring out a Nova Cowling 2L and then flip it and change the variant to a BM. And then duplicate that and move it to the front and change the variant to a BF and accept. Next, go ahead and duplicate the Teo control station up. And then you're going to bring in 2 Deimos holes. And then bring in a Teo cowling and flip it to the fore bottom. And then we're going to duplicate that down. So select the Teo cowling in the bottom Deimos hole and duplicate, and it should drop down. And then bring out the Nova weapon mount and attach that to the 2x1. And then we're going to also duplicate that down. So select your weapon mount in the bottom Deimos hole and duplicate. And that'll give you a drop down. Now you can delete these top 2 parts and these bottom 2 Deimos holes. Keep these holes out for now. We're going to continue to use those. All right, bring out a tail companionway 1x1 top A, and place that above the bottom A. And then bring out a tail 2x1 top A and place that above the bottom A. I'm using living quarters here. And now, same thing that we did on the bottom. Bring out a tail cowling 2L and change it to the TM variant. And then duplicate that and change it to the TF variant. And then bring in a tail cowling, and you'll want to duplicate that down. So throw a Deimos hole on top, connect your cowling right there, and then select the tail cowling in your bottom Deimos hole and duplicate down. And that'll give you a drop-down duplication. You can delete all of those. All right. Next, go ahead and bring in a HopeTech Riser B and a HopeTech radiator. Go ahead and you can move your Deimos holes to put them over here to make them a little bit easier to work with. Now what we're going to do is we're going to duplicate this. Well, place your radiator on top of your Riser B. And then we're going to duplicate the Riser B up. So select the top Deimos hole and the Riser B and duplicate. And that'll give us a riser inside the radiator. And then what we want to do is duplicate the radiator down. So select the radiator and your bottom Deimos hole and duplicate down. Now you can delete those extra parts, and we have a stack of Riser Bs inside these radiators. And now we want to, we need to get another Riser B on top. So let's delete the top radiator. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna select the radiator and this top Riser B. And we're gonna duplicate both of those up together. Like that. And now we have 3 Riser Bs stacked inside 2 HopeTech radiators. Okay. Now you could grab a Teo 2x1 mid. I'm going to use a control station. You don't have to use a control station. And then what we're going to do is grab our 2 Deimos holes. And we're going to place those on top of the back of the 2x1 mid. And here we're going to drop down our grav drive and our reactor and an engine into this cowling. So in order to do that, let's duplicate these and set them off to the side so we have some parts to drop down with. And then grab your grav drive and connect that to the bottom Deimos hole here. And then just select it in the bottom Deimos hole and duplicate it. It's gonna go up because this makes a connection point. So just select the bottom one in the bottom hole, and now you got a duplicate down. So you can delete these top 2 grav drives, and now bring in your reactor and connect that to the top. We're gonna duplicate this down once. Now we're gonna duplicate this bottom reactor down once. And now we can delete these top 2 reactors and these bottom 2 Deimos holes. And you can see we have both of those parts inside there. Now what we want to do is we want to get an engine in here. And the engine needs a side connector. So select these and duplicate them, and then just put them off to the side. And then bring the bottom one up to the top. Now you should be able to bring in a Poseidon DT230 engine, connect it to the top Deimos hole over here. And once you have that in place, we're going to drop it all the way down. So go ahead and duplicate it once, and then select the bottom engine and the bottom Deimos hole, and duplicate it again. And then select that bottom engine and the bottom Deimos hole, and duplicate them one more time. And that drops it all the way down here to the bottom. So now you can delete these top 3 Poseidon engines, all 4 of these Deimos holes, and the bottom 2 Deimos holes here. Keep these out for now. We will be doing more drop downs coming up. Okay, now you can duplicate this 2x1 and just bring one over here and make it whatever you want. I'm gonna make it a captain's quarters. And then bring out another Teo cowling and connect that right on the top here. Next, bring in a Deimos bracer and place it onto the 2x1 that's just above your docker. And then also bring in a Teo mid cap, put it into the port top variant. And then you're gonna duplicate that and flip it so that it's upside down. And you want it also flipped like this. So it's gonna be the starboard bottom variant. And now you can connect that underneath your port top. Okay. Next, grab a Nova wing, and you're just going to attach that to the Deimos bracer. Just connect the back of the wing to the bracer. And then you could duplicate another wing, and we're going to connect that to the front. After that, bring out a Deimos wing E, and you could connect that. Oh, something ain't right here. Hold on, let me back it up. Oh no, yeah, that was right. That was right. Yeah. Bring your Deimos wing right here, and then bring your wing E and connect it right here. And now what you're gonna do is you're just gonna move this wing off real quick, briefly. And you're gonna bring in a Nova wing in the starboard flip. And then you're gonna connect that wing right here. After you connect that wing, you could grab your other Nova wing and snap it right here. It's gonna be red. And then just flip it twice and cancel. Okay? Then go ahead and duplicate this wing, and you're gonna attach it to your cockpit. And then you're gonna duplicate it and set another copy down here, and then just select it, change the variant, and snap it right here as red, and then flip it twice and cancel. Okay? So that takes care of all of your wings. Now, bring out a Teo braking engine. And bring out a Pinpoint 4G landing gear. Connect those together. And then bring in a Nova 1050 engine and connect that to the back of the Pinpoint landing gear. Then duplicate the landing gear and then snap it into place on top of the other landing gear, flip it twice, and cancel. That gives you 2 landing gears right there. And now what you're gonna do is move this wing off and select all and then drag these and connect them right there. Once you have those connected, grab this wing, snap it back into place, flip it twice, and cancel. Okay, now let's bring all this to the other side. Duplicate the Deimos bracer and connect it to the 2x1. Duplicate your tail midcap, flip it 3 times, and then connect it next to the bracer. Then you're gonna duplicate that part, and you're gonna flip it so it's the port bottom variant, and attach that underneath the starboard top variant. Okay, select your braking engine, your landing gear, and your Nova engine, and then just duplicate those and bring them off to the side. You're not going to do anything with those just yet. And now duplicate and flip the Nova wing or the Deimos wing, and then duplicate and flip that and connect it right here. Then duplicate the Deimos wing E and connect it to the other Deimos wing. Now remove this wing temporarily. Duplicate and flip your Nova wing and connect it to the Deimos wing E. Now you can grab your Deimos wing A and snap it back in right here, flip it twice, and cancel. And then you can duplicate this part and snap it to the engine, and then duplicate it again, and then this time just change the variant to the rear, snap it into place right here, flip it twice, and cancel. Now we're gonna do one more. Let's duplicate this wing. Go ahead, you can just duplicate it twice. And then we're gonna flip it, and we're gonna change the variant. And this one, we're gonna end up putting right here. And in order to do these, what you're gonna do is move your Deimos bracers both up to the top. Okay? Now you can snap this into place and flip it twice and cancel. And now look, see how it dropped down like that? Just select it and then click accept. And it brings it up and puts it into place. Now same thing with this one. Let's flip it, snap it in right here, flip it twice and cancel. And now this one came up, so just select it and accept. And now we're just gonna drop down our 2 bracers. So select your bracers in your bottom Deimos hole and then duplicate down. Delete the extra hole here, delete these top 2 bracers. And now we have that. So now go ahead and move this wing off. Select your landing gear, flip it. Select the engine, flip it. Select the braking engine, flip it, and attach it. Make sure all these are attached by selecting all. And they are. Now go ahead and just duplicate the landing gear and place it on the grid. Snap it into place, flip it twice, and cancel. And now you can do a select all right here. Put those into place there. And now you can grab your Deimos wing, snap it back into place here. It'll be red, flip it twice, and cancel. So now we're really close to getting finished here. It's almost done. Grab a M40 Ulysses HE3 tank and connect one to the back here. You're gonna just duplicate that twice and then bring these in. They'll be red, so put one right here, flip it twice, cancel, and then bring in another one, put it right here, flip it twice, and cancel. Okay. Now I'm gonna bring in the one I already have. And that takes care of that. Now you're gonna select these 3 parts, duplicate them, and set them over here. and then just move them into place. Grab this one, flip it, put it at the back. Grab this one, flip it, snap it, flip it twice, cancel. Grab this one, flip it, snap it, flip it twice, cancel. Okay, there we have that. Now you could bring in a Deimos Spine A and a Deimos Spine E. And connect those right here onto the Spine E goes on your 1x1, and the Spine A goes to the back of the 2x1. So we have an A and an E. And then you could select both of those and duplicate them and put them on top of your captain's quarters. And then just move this A off for a second, duplicate a Hope Tech Riser B and put it here, and then snap your Spine A on top of that, and we're going to duplicate that down. So select the Riser A or the Spine A in your Deimos hole and duplicate drop down. Delete the bottom hole here and delete this top one. Now you have this look right here. You can now duplicate this Spine A, put one on top of your Spine C, and then you're going to bring out a Spine B. This one's going to sit on top of the riser above your radiators. And then we have one more right in here. So what you could do is just duplicate and flip and attach that one right here. Okay? Next, bring in a Teo companionway 1x1 and attach it right here, and then duplicate it and flip it. Oh, I'm sorry, you can't flip it. We need a top. Go ahead and just grab this top and duplicate it and set it up here. And then bring in a Teo cowling and place one on top right here, duplicate it and change the variant to the back, and then duplicate and flip, and then duplicate and flip, accept, and that gives us our whole top look. Alrighty, next we just need to put in this last engine to give us our maximum engine power. So this has a max power of 2, and it's going to give us the most thrust that we can get out of a 2-powered engine. I'm going to hide that right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move these two off, and I'm going to put this engine right here, and then I'm going to duplicate it down so that it looks like that. Okay? And then now what I want to do is I want to get these back in place. So you can snap this here, flip it twice, cancel, and then bring in your companionway, snap it here, change the variant, then change it back, and cancel. And that gives us, that's basically your whole ship's done. Now it's up to you. You can go ahead and put on whatever weapons you want, wherever you want. That's completely up to you, and you could do that however you would like. And what I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to hide my weapons. So I'm going to put them all into one spot. I'm going to put them all onto one single equipment plate, and I'm going to hide them right here at the front of my ship. So I'm going to remove my Nova cowling and my Teo companionway off, and I'm going to put these, all my weapons are going to go right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a Deimos hole right there, and then I'm going to bring in my equipment plate. So you'll see I have 3. I'm using these Vanguard Hellfires. I guess I have 6 of these bad boys. And I have 6 of these Vanguard obliterators. And then I have 4 of these Tempest CE-13 missile launchers. I don't know why I went with these on this build. Most likely I was probably just working on getting one of my skills ranked up with missiles and ballistics. So I'm going to actually change these on this build. So go ahead and put your equipment plate onto your Deimos hole. And then you can delete the Deimos hole and duplicate your equipment plate down. Now go ahead and bring out all 3 of your weapons that you're going to use. So on this one, I'm just going to make it a particle beam annihilator. I'm going to use Obliterator 250 MEVs. I'm going to use PBO 300 alpha beams. And I'm going to use Disruptor 3340 alpha beams. So grab your first weapon and just put it onto the bottom plate. And then duplicate it and bring it up. And now we're going to just drop that down with the duplication. So now we have 2 down on the bottom, and we can hold 1 more of these obliterators. So there is 3 on the bottom. Now we're going to bring in our PBO 300s. And we're going to duplicate this down 4 times. So once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. Now we can do that and all these extra things. Now we're bringing in our last weapon, Disruptor 3340. We're going to duplicate that down also 4 times. Once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. Now you can delete that and this extra equipment plate. And we can delete these Deimos holes. Maybe we'll keep 1 out just in case we need it. I don't think we will. So let's see if we could snap our cowling in place, flip it twice, cancel. And then bring in our Nova Cowling 2L, flip it twice, cancel. There it is. It's done. We do have an error, and so let's assign our weapons. And now we got a blue nominal check mark. Go ahead and give it a name. I called it the Thunderbird 3. And blue check mark, all systems are nominal. And there it is. That is your Thunderbird number 3, 1600 shields, maximum crew, maximum jump range, maximum mobility, 130 speed. And we only have 200 cargo, but cargo's whatever. If you want cargo's easy to add. You can always hide additional cargo inside your grav drive very easily. If you don't know what I'm talking about, let me just show you real quick. I do explain this in all my videos, but let's just say you wanted to bring in, you know, another 1,000 pounds of cargo or whatever. Just grab your paint. And then go ahead and let's just give this some paint. And set it on top of your grav drive. Bring in your Deimos holes. Drop down duplication, select the bottom one. Select the cargo and duplicate it. If it goes up, that's fine. Just do it again. Now it'll go down. And there you go. You have it hidden inside now. And now we have 1,600 cargo, and we still have 100 mobility. If we did it again, we'd lose mobility. But, you know, there 91 mobility and 3,160 cargo before perks. So it doesn't really change the look of the ship that much. So, you know, there's always options for cargo. Me, I like the 100 mobility. So I'm going to keep it like that. And I'm going to go with the 1,680 cargo, 100 mobility, 1 maximum, everything else. And, oh, you got an error. So that means you're going to need to add more landing gear. So if you do get that error, you could always just duplicate these. And there you go, just duplicate one of them and you get the nominal check mark. If you added in another cargo, you could just keep on duplicating these. Do another one if you need to. Do another one if you need to. Do another one if you need to. Do another one, do another one. Doesn't really matter. You can duplicate these right in place. No problem. You know? So there it is, folks. Thunderbird 3. I hope you enjoyed this build guide. If it helped you out, drop me a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see other builds or have any troubles with this build, please leave me some comments. I'll answer all questions in a pinned comment, so keep an eye out for a pinned comment. If it's required, there will be one, and all questions will be answered in that one pinned comment. Until next time, everybody, peace out.